masters of horror.
Welcome to the Scariest Things podcast, your gateway to the trends and tropes of the horror genre. This is episode 174, part 2 of the results of the Wheel of Misfortune. If you haven't listened to episode 173, go back because we are back again. It's Liz, Eric, Mike, Robert, and the Jersey Ghouls, Jacki and Marissa, going through our Wheel of Misfortune franchise picks.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you, because you endured. Because I am a fan, and I still won't watch Marissa that shit again.
As a good parent.
Oh, parent to parent, yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, this is actually a series that I have shared with my kids because they adore it. But I got the Scream series, guys, and I swear the horror gods. And for the record, I imagined the horror gods to be like Pinhead, Pazuzu, Black Phillip. I'm not sure who else. I should throw them out there, but the horror gods blessed me in this Wheel of Misfortune because I really thought I was going to get stuck with like the Human Centipede or one with like 50 films, but I got lucky and I got
Robert.
Scream. Yeah, Robert really did. So I'm gonna say I dodged a lot of bullets on that on our wheel. And I also got a series that is so near and dear to my heart as someone who studies horror from like academic feminist perspectives, because boy, to me, this film series is a pivotal turning point in the history of the slasher horror, particularly in reference to the final girl. The Scream series rewrote the playbook. It rejuvenated a genre that was dying quicker than a sexually active girl in the 1980s slasher films. And for the record, I am not a fan of those 1980s slasher films, pound for pound. So Scream really is near and dear for me. So it also, to me, created an iconic villain in the costume of Ghostface, obviously Mr. Face if you're nasty. So let's dive in. All right, spanning from 1996 till 2023, and with number 7 looming for maybe probably not because of SAG-AFTRA, but 2025 is my guess for Scream 7. All right, so I wrote a little summary, you guys. Now this is like the Marissa Spark notes, so bear with me because it doesn't actually give any plot, but it'll be fun anyway. The series revolves around Sydney, a scrappy and delightful woman who goes through some serious shit over the span of basically her entire life, thanks in no small part to her mother's baggage. And before you write in and say I'm victim blaming here, simmer down. I'm just saying that her mom, Maureen, got into some serious shit. And Sydney kind of paid the price, right? I mean, for most of her life for this. So it's kind of like that whole sins of the father thing, right? So Sydney battles Ghostface after face after face, including a boyfriend, boyfriend's besties, boyfriend's moms, half-brothers, cousins, baby mamas, neighbor's uncle's friendly barber with a beard, etc., through all 6 movies. And they're all trying to kill her initially, and then eventually different girls as we get into the new ones, and I'll put a pin in that for a second. So in 1, 2, 3, and 4, I would argue Sydney is the final girl. And then along comes the requel, right? Scream 5, aka Scream 2022, comes along, and they switch the narrative just a bit. Sydney is still definitely Sorry, my Siri was apparently recording that entire thing. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
AI.
Yeah, seriously. It's like my Chucky AI, Jacki. It's because you said to
summoned it. I know.
Yeah,
I said it too
that's
many
on
times.
you.
I'm sorry.
So basically in the requels, they pass the torch to speaking of standing, Melissa Barrera and Jenny Ortega take over as Billy's kid and sister, and they carry the final gore torch. Now, why this film series is amazing to me is not only because I think all of the films kind of stand up and are kind of delightful in their own right, some more than others, we'll get into that in a minute, but also because it really does reinvigorate and redefine what a slasher can be. And I think A24 doesn't exist without these films. I think a lot of what we consider modern horror doesn't exist without these films. And most importantly, we don't get feminism in horror the way we do today without Sydney and Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven taking all those chances. So that's my diatribe on Scream. My ranking. I can't wait. I'm so curious because I'm assuming everybody in here has seen all these films and can play this game with me. Number 1, obviously, is 1. Number 2 is 2. And here's why. I was so torn. But Jerry O'Connell singing.
That puts anything over the top.
And Aunt Becky. Aunt Becky from Roseanne is the villain. Come on, dude. Like, you got to give props for that. So that pushes it over the edge for me. Ready? My hot take, number 5 is the third best. I know.
Really like Jenna Ortega, but that other girl is absolutely terrible.
2022. You're saying 2022?
I'm saying 2022 was the third best.
Oh, that's a bold take.
Okay. I know.
I think
Listen,
that ended up on all of the Scariest Things worst of lists.
Yeah, that's fine. And you know what? Here's why I'm totally biased. I'm gonna be a mom for a minute. I got to take my kids to see Scream 5, and Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera became their Sydneys. Like they look at those two women, and not only that, but
as to make one Nev Campbell.
That's right. Damn true, Liz. That's
90s, baby.
But I'm also gonna say, as a Latina woman, seeing two Latinas on screen being the final girls, like we don't get that ever. Yeah. So being a woman of color, I was like, and anybody even 6 degrees of Lin-Manuel Miranda gets my vote. But so all right. So then obviously Scream 3 comes in a close after 5. Number 4, and then of course number 6. So my ranking was 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 6.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody want to argue that? Yeah, I don't know.
I would throw 5 and 6 at the end. 6 is
see, I think 4 is the worst one. I can't stand part 4.
Okay.
I like 3. I'd go 1, 3, 2.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I like 3 way more than
because 3 was the one which opens with Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett.
That's 2.
That's 2. Oh, okay, no, I'm thinking. All right, no, it's 2 for me then.
I'll give 3 all the credit because I love Parker Posey. So I'll
was 3 the one that introduced Stab? Or was that?
No,
that was 2.
2.
That was 2. Okay, so I'm still thinking 2. Okay.
Yeah. Because
right,
that was the movie about
Eric,
the Woodsboro murders.
Yeah. Turns out you love 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
What I love about 3 though is that I think they were low key calling out Harvey Weinstein before it was okay to call out Harvey Weinstein. So go back and watch 3 with that lens, and you'll be mind blown. Okay, original title for this was Scary Movie. It was also the Stab movies are an entire plot line. I fell down that rabbit hole, and you can really follow Stab 1 through 7 throughout the entire course of all these films. Including a scene directed by Robert Rodriguez for Scream 2. So when they're in the movie theater watching Tori, like whoever it is, I think it's Tori Spelling, get killed at the beginning, and then all of those scenes were directed by Robert Rodriguez, which kind of blows my mind. Yep.
Wait,
so that's kind of really fun.
Weren't these produced by Miramax too?
They were indeed. Yeah. So it was especially risky to be making a movie about women being victimized.
Something there.
I'm telling you, watch 3 with that lens, and you'll be like, holy shit, they were calling out Weinstein. So favorite kills. All right. I'm not gonna go for the obvious Drew Barrymore at the beginning of the first one. While I think that is what makes this series as iconic as it is, my all-time favorite kill. So I had to break it up. I couldn't pick. Anybody want to guess how many kill count in this film series?
Jeez.
Ooh.
Are we going total?
82. I'm saying 82.
82.
I'm gonna say
57.
107. Because you said 82 is low. I say 107.
Anybody else want to throw a guess out?
65.
Oh, you're so close. 62. 62 kills.
Oh, wow.
62 kills. Yeah. You feel like there's so much more.
I'm figuring 10 per episode.
About 10 per,
yeah. That's a good
couple less here and there, but basically 10 per series for movie. I am gonna say I did not watch the series, y'all. I'm sorry. I know I was supposed to. It was extra credit. I couldn't get to it. I do apologize. Okay. All right. So best kill to me of the whole series is in part 2. In the movie theater, when the character of Maureen, played by Jada Pinkett, gets stabbed in front of everybody and nobody knows. Scared the bejeebies out of me as a teenager. The most emotional death, Dewey, obviously. Like I was shook. Right. And the funniest and most endearing kill to me, Stu. I love Stu's murder and that entire sequence. Love Matthew Lillard. Can't get enough of it. Any other kills stick out to everybody? There were so many to choose from, to be honest.
The only thing I liked about the newest one was when they killed the kid who he opened up the refrigerator and his buddy's there, and then he's chasing around the apartment. I liked that, but
which is a great trope. The usually in comic books, it's the girlfriend in a fridge.
Yeah.
Trope, which is for Marissa that raises all the kind of the feminist geek flags. It's like, oh, you don't do that, because it's the that is a trigger for it's like, no, I'm a superhero because someone stuffed my girlfriend in a fridge. So.
It's so true.
I like the one in part 5, the girl who ends up, her parents, like, they live in Stu Macher's house. When she dies, it's just because it's satisfying, because she was such an obnoxious character that it was just ridiculously satisfying for her to die.
I love it. I also love, shout out to Samara Weaving's character in the 6th one, because like she was like a film critic woman.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous and I love her. Yeah. But I loved her character. I was mad that she died so untimely. But it's Scream, right? You guys, like, there's no stopping it. I think it's a powerhouse. I think even the bad films are still pretty palatable compared to like some of the series we're going to talk about.
Marissa, I think one of the things that you really didn't touch upon is one of the key strengths is it's sort of your reference manual to horror movies. This is it brings out all the tropes. It uses the classic tropes in the best ways. I mean, it's got one of the best, even in the 6th movie, the look right, look left, fake out, the refrigerator scene. Mm-hmm. You're expecting, it plays with every expectation that you have, and that was born out of Wes Craven.
Has anybody been hit by a bus on Scream? No.
Yeah.
but did you learn not to drive behind log cars?
Yes, that is true. That's what I learned from Final Destination. What lessons can I take away from Scream?
And I think that even with the 6th one, or the 5th one, which I'm not a big fan of, I liked how that they updated the trends, where they start talking about elevated horror, and they start dropping references to the witch and the other things, and what it's like, oh no, that's we're now at a different place in horror, because we talk about this kind of stuff all the time about whether this is a golden age of horror, because Scream was needed when it came out, because horror was getting stale.
Yeah.
Like, particularly the franchise stuff was totally stale, and this was like total breath of fresh air. You caught a little bit of that from New Nightmare, but really this was like, all right, we're gonna wash the car here.
It saves the genre, in my opinion.
It does.
And not only that, but, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah. And I think that the other thing, Eric, it's so true, because our generation looks at it as blowing up Carol Clover's like Final Girl, really kind of sending all the tropes upside down. But I watched these with my teenagers and they were like, we would expect no less than this. Like, they are now at a point where Cindy is the norm. Like, they watch movies now and they expect their final girls and their characters to be smart. They don't fuck with like the old, the virginal final girl and the slutty one gets killed. Like, they watch those films as farce now, and they watch modern horror through the lens of Scream. Scream did that. And I'm always like yelling, I'm an old lady yelling at the clouds. I'm like, you wouldn't appreciate this if it weren't for Cindy Sheep. Not like yelling Scream throughout the entire movie, which they really enjoy, incidentally. But and real quick, my Jersey Ghouls feminist final thoughts on this is thank you. I'm gonna write an open letter to Cindy and to Wes Craven and Kevin here. Thank you for evolving the final girl to be smart, complex, and real, and be able to have sex, because she should. I mean, granted, some of it was with a serial killer. Yeah. I mean, listen, of all the people I made some choices. I'm not judging.
It's not Edward Cullen. Good God.
Yeah,
seriously, I'll take him over Edward Cullen any day. At least Edward's just like sneaky about his gaslightiness. Billy was over. I love that these films evolved to show the trauma and the dangers and how that affects us through our lives. I love that Sydney becomes a woman who empowers other women. She like works for a hotline. She like constantly uses her experiences to empower other people and other survivors. And finally, I think, thank you more than anything, Jacki, cover your ears. You're not going to like this. Thank you, Scream, for saving the shitty subgenre of slasher films from itself. Thank you for taking it into a modern era and making feminists like me love slashers again. XOXO.
100%.
But Marissa, not Jackie.
It's Marissa. Mostly. But you know what? If it makes Marissa happy, then it makes me happy.
Oh,
So
that's why I love you.
There we go.
Empowered women.
Yep.
Love it. She's gonna beat me up later. Don't listen.
Oh yeah, no. The minute these cameras come off, her ass is grass. But that's okay.
So do we think that Scream kind of undid all that good stuff by not giving Neve Campbell the money she wanted to appear
That's what
in
I
the
was gonna
final
ask.
movie?
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay that girl.
That's
I
pay her.
know.
Pay that girl because she deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I really
to
believe-
make up for one Sydney. I like Jenna Ortega. I thought the other girl was not.
That's
a great
fair. A
performer.
lot of people don't love her acting.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I was so blinded by my love of having two representative, people of color that I don't mind her. I love her.
They weren't charming. I think that was the thing that
Yeah.
where Neve, you rooted for Neve
Ortega's so charming. Eric, she is charming as F. You're telling me she walks into this Zoom right now, Eric, and you're not like Jenna and I are best friends. Don't even come at me. That
I'll
Jenna
take
Ortega's
the
not
Jenna,
like, where's
the
Samara
Jenna
Weaving?
from X or
Yeah.
Jenna from
any of them.
what was the
Maxine?
monster? No,
Oh,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Wednesday Addams.
so good in Wednesday.
I just want to sit around and talk shit on people with her because you're gonna have a good time doing it. That's the kind of girl I want to hang out with.
I just watched her on Hot Wings, and it was a great one.
Hot Wings.
Yeah,
Oh, the hot ones,
the hot ones. Yeah, hot ones.
Yeah.
Hot ones. Yeah.
How did she make it past the bomb?
Oh, she made it past all of them. Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah, she
good on
did
her.
Hands down.
Oh yeah, I heard
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
really good on that. Okay.
No, I love it when people break down at the bomb and then they just start like having to
I would
pace
be
and
like,
they
don't
start
even put me near those
drooling
things.
and spewing all kinds of stuff. It's yeah.
Let me guess, you think Aubrey Plaza seems like a Debbie Downer too?
All right. Robert. We have two left. It's Robert and Eric.
Me?
It's Tremors versus
Yep.
Wishmaster.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
mine,
really
mine
looking
will
forward
be
to it.
mine will be
So
comparably short.
excited.
Okay.
So Robert, you've got a
Robert?
task in front of you.
All right. Tremors. I was tasked with Tremors.
Tremors.
So Tremors. What can I say about Tremors? Tremors, it started a long time. It was decades in the making, actually, between the writers S.S. Wilson and Brent Maddock. They're the ones that started it. They were shooting something else randomly, and found themselves in a desert, and they were standing on a rock, and one of them said, "Hey, what if there was something under the sand that made us not get off this rock?" And that's how the idea for Tremors started. So, eventually it came out, and it came out. The original film came out in 1990, starring Mr. Bacon and Mr. Ward, and the cast in this film was pretty amazing.
It was great.
It had, obviously Michael Gross, who then became Tremors.
Mr. Tremors.
But also Reba
Mr.
McEntire,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it had Ariana Richards, the little girl from Jurassic Park, was in it as Missy, also the little girl in Tremors. It had genre favorite Victor Wong, who was
Yes.
One-eyed Victor Wong,
who was awesome, and unfortunately the only really gory death in the film. But so hands down, the first movie, the best.
Mhm.
And actually, it's also the only movie of the 7 that wasn't direct to video.
Oh, the other ones were?
All
Holy
shocking.
crap.
All 14 of however many.
Yeah.
All 12,000 of them.
Number
back
2
when direct to video was a thing.
was supposed to
Oh.
be in the theaters, but they said they would make more money if it went direct to video.
Somebody lied to them. That's
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
And the first one, I think the problem was the first one didn't make any money. The first
It really
one,
didn't?
not really. It made, they spent
Huh.
$10 million making it. It didn't do well at the box office. Box office, they
Really?
made like $16 million.
Oh wow.
It took a long time for it to become a cult favorite. and that's where it started making its money. But by then they were already pushing them out to direct to video, and I think like the next few movies they made for like $4 million or something like that. There was no money behind any of the rest of them.
Okay. Oh my God, that just bummed me out. I don't know why I got so sad about that.
I know. It's a great movie. So
Michael Gross has to eat.
I know.
Yes, exactly.
Where's
Kevin
all the
Bacon
Family
has other
Ties
things
money?
to do.
I know. Where is that Family Ties money?
Well, in Tremors 2, which is the only one that starred either of the two main characters from one. So Fred Ward is in Tremors 2. Tremors 2 was also supposed to star Kevin Bacon and Reba McEntire. However, Reba, she had some side gig where she's like a singer. Yeah. So she had to do that apparently. And Kevin Bacon gave up the chance to be in a direct sequel in Tremors 2 to be in like the 13th movie of the Apollo franchise.
Oh my God, he regretted that for years, I bet.
So he was in Apollo 13. So he had some random excuse. It was so that late in the franchise, they probably sent him to space.
Yeah.
So,
do the Tremors go to space, Robert?
They do not.
Okay.
They go to hell.
They go to
Yet.
Yet. Well, actually, it might be done.
Huh?
There may not be any more Tremors.
Oh, no.
I know. We'll get to that.
Michael Gross not
on
able
my
to
watch.
I know. Michael Gross is out.
So I would say if you're going to watch Tremors, watch the first one, obviously, and stop there. If you feel like you need to watch another one, watch the third one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Watch the third one, because the second one was just a little sad. Now, the second one, the only good thing about, there are two good things about the second one. Fred Ward, because I love Fred Ward, and it introduced the Shrieker, which was the little hoppy dudes in the Tremors universe.
I do like those.
Yeah.
So there are 3 phases of the Graboid in the Tremors universe. The Graboid, Tremors 1, the iconic of the monsters, the Shrieker, which came out in Tremors 2, and then the crowd favorite, the Ass Blaster.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
From Tremors 3.
So, who doesn't love
guys, I gotta go. I gotta watch 3 real quick.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
So that is the cycle of life, because they literally come from each other and that's how Tremors are made. Just in case you want to have
Wait a minute. Whoa.
children.
Or wait, can you take it back? Like, pretend we're in health class in 10th grade. Can you tell me how one gets to an ass
The
blaster?
two Graboids love each other very much.
Let's dissect.
Just take it back for me.
Dissect that Graboid.
First you have the Graboid, right? And at some point, the Graboid feels like it needs to create more of itself, and so
turn the whiteboard on here so Robert can draw it out.
Explodes. Actually, it does sort of an alien thing, and Graboids come out.
And that's how you get, quote, back to perfection, which is the title of the third one.
Exactly. So then, how did the ass blasters come from the Graboids? Because the Graboids, if you feed them too much, then they start to procreate, and they're almost like gremlins. And at some point, they then sort of pupate and make a ass blaster, and the ass blasters can fly.
Which does not look like you would expect. It looks like a pelican, for anybody at home who's wondering. I just Googled it.
But it's because they blast out of their ass, and that propels them into the air.
Why do they need the wings then?
Well, then they glide. See, then they
control,
glide.
right?
I love the fact that you use pupate and ass blaster in the same sentence.
So anyway,
holy shit! Somebody lucked out in this Wheel of Fortune, you guys. I'm not saying who.
So poor Fred Ward had to do 2. I think he was probably calling Kevin and Reba, and there he was like, "Why aren't you guys here? What the hell? We all said we were going to do this. Damn it!" So it was not a great movie. 3, however, I think it was done by Sci-Fi Channel because it was the one that set up the series.
Yeah.
And it didn't bring back Kevin or Fred Ward, but it brought back Michael Gross, obviously. But there were like 5 or 6 of the original characters from the first movie that came back to perfection for the third movie. Not many of them, I think only Michael Gross stayed. There was the annoying kid Melvin in the first movie who everyone was always mad at. He came back, and then they got rid of him pretty quickly. And there was like the Hispanic man in the first movie. Can't remember, he was like Javier or something, and he came back in the third movie also, and they also got rid of him pretty quick. So there are a lot of these little cameos, and then the series spun off with a couple new actors in some of the same roles. So the Missy character was no longer the girl from Jurassic Park. It was played by somebody else, and her mom was played by somebody else, even though they're the same characters. And then all the rest of the characters in the series were new, except for Michael Gross. So those are the first 3. The fourth one, as is required when you get far enough into a franchise, is a prequel, and that goes back to the Old West, where Michael Gross plays one of his ancestors.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that trope.
I know.
Not a great movie, but it gives you, it's like the founding of the perfection town where everybody lives. And then the fifth movie is where it starts to break down. If it hadn't broken down already.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It took a while.
We hit that like 10 minutes ago.
The wheels have come
Tremors
off now.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
The wheels have come off. The fourth one, at least it was something a little new. I mean, it was a new scenery, new everything. And the fifth one, we get back to the old style, and it starts to how do I put this? There's peeing. There's a peeing thing that enters into the Tremors universe.
As distinct from the ass blaster.
Correct. Distinct from
That's it. Now they've gone too far.
This is seems to be I don't know if it's a fetish. I don't want to call it that. But Michael Gross appears to be they're writing for him these peeing scenes in 5. He's actually gets trapped in a cage and must drink his own urine to survive, even though it really seems like in the movie he's only been there for like an hour and a half. But he does this, actually says it's an acquired taste, and so I thought, okay, that was weird, but whatever. The movie, it takes place in South Africa. They go around the world sometimes because the graboids get seen, and they always call Michael Gross to come get them. So this one was in South Africa. So he was really hot. I guess that was why.
Well, he's trying to escape Jamie Kennedy, I thought. That's no.
Yeah.
That's
They did introduce Jamie Kennedy. Yeah, that was unfortunate. And he was stuck with them for like a couple of movies. And then after that, they went into the snow in the next movie, because there was yet another different graboid seen in the snow.
Of course.
And
they got ass blasted like across the country or something.
They did, yes.
International ass blasting.
Yeah.
International ass blasting.
Yeah.
And
isn't that a film festival we once all went to? I don't remember.
And again, there was more peeing. Michael Gross's character required one of the other characters to pee to attract the graboid.
Robert, thank you so much for doing this research, because I can't believe this turned into pee fetish films at some point.
It started getting really weird.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it was so then that was number 6, and I think the writers were just fed up with it, and so in number 7 they killed Michael Gross.
Oh.
Spoiler alert. Burt Gummer is dead.
Oh,
So we're thinking
there will be
we're
no more
done,
peeing.
no more Tremors.
Now they've gone too far.
Yeah.
Exactly. So probably no more.
and they were on an island too.
Okay.
Shrieker Island. Yeah.
Shrieker Island. Yeah,
And
Oh,
wait,
yeah, that
and the
was-
guy
that
from
was number
Napoleon
6.
Dynamite.
Tourist
was in there
attraction,
too,
yeah.
right?
yeah,
That was
yeah. That's
actually
I've only
utterly
I've only
forgettable.
seen the first one and the 7th one.
Oh,
I skipped all the pee.
It's an interesting choice.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not down with the
7
peeing.
7
I'm going
was
first
pee
and
free,
7.
which was
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, there we
That's
go.
right.
I mean, we're not kink shaming, but it is
Oh,
nice.
no.
Not at
It's
all.
nice
You
to
do
have a
you.
pee-free
It
movie.
was just a little unexpected.
Now,
But
did they all manage to be PG-13 movies essentially through the whole run?
yes, actually, the first one was R because there were a lot of F-bombs, but they
Yeah.
went back through and redubbed them, and some of them you can actually see because they're you can see what they're actually saying. But especially when Kevin Bacon's on the roof and Michael Gross calls in and says, "Oh, we killed one of them. We killed that mother humper."
Yeah.
And you can see
Right,
you can see
right.
Kevin Bacon on the
He's
roof
not a
going,
mother
"You
humper."
guys, there is one more mother humper.
Yeah.
Ah,
But
Well,
he doesn't say mother humper. Yes.
I showed Tremors, the first one, to my nephew who is 10. And when I thought it was a good time, the effects of 1990 did not seem to impress a child of today.
Oh,
It's hard to
looks
impress them,
terrible.
Liz.
Yeah,
That was
it
Stan
really
Winston,
is.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Didn't
it
Stan
looks
Winston do
terrible.
the?
I don't think
Made the
so.
graboids. I don't know.
Okay.
I still thought it was a great time. And
It
I
is, and
forgot
it was
how many
mostly
F-bombs were in
practical,
it,
I
to be honest
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
you.
no,
I
there was no.
like,
It was preached. Yeah, you wouldn't. Unless you had Spielberg's money, you weren't trying to do that kind of stuff in CGI at
Yeah.
that time.
And if you didn't like that
Right,
one, don't
right.
show him any of the other
yeah,
ones.
no.
Because they did not have the
He's
money.
not impressed by practical effects.
I
of the
just
90s.
I just looked on Wikipedia and I like the progression of, if you look under the franchise tag, it says that the first one is, a monster movie. The second one, they called it an action horror monster movie. By the third one, they're calling it a comedic monster movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by the 6th one, it's a pee fetish movie.
They're like,
Right.
we don't even know what we've done. Yeah.
Pretty much once you get past number 4, all of the movies are just about everybody yelling at each other. That's all it comes down to.
Oh
And
man.
Well, thank
It's
you
just
for getting past
chaos.
number 4
Yeah,
for
and
us.
Yeah.
Jackie and Marissa, Robert is often the one who takes one on the chin and watches the worst possible movies for our site. He's willingly goes in and watches bad movies, where I think Liz and I particularly try and avoid really movies that we think might be
Robert
awful.
is
I
the
feel like
purple
Robert will
heart.
do it.
He is
Yeah.
the purple heart of the team.
I'm like Mikey. He'll
Yeah.
eat anything.
Robert, blink if you're in danger. We can help you.
Yeah.
The Jersey Ghouls can get you out of here,
We
okay?
will bring you safely to Jersey.
You're-
We won't make
you're
you watch
close.
all the Tremors.
Thank you guys.
Did you
Oh.
venture into the series at all?
I did.
Oh.
I have 2 things to say. The series is kind of forgettable and probably doesn't need to be watched. And also, I lucked out because Blumhouse very nearly gave me another series to watch.
Oh, and luckily for
Oh.
the strike.
And,
Again,
yeah.
we're being saved.
Yes,
Yeah.
because in 2015, actually Kevin Bacon was going to come back to do another series, and they shot the pilot, and then whatever the network was that was going to get it decided they didn't want it. So It did not happen.
Sci-fi
But there's
says they don't
somewhere
want
out there, there's a
something.
pilot.
Jesus, what the hell was that?
But the series was strange.
Yeah.
It had some people in it. It had Michael Chiklis showed up in it.
It wasn't a nature by show. Just
Yeah. He was in it quite a bit. He was like an agent.
I love him.
Because what happens was in the third movie, Perfection, the city in which the graboids live, becomes a what do you call it? A protected environment for these animals. So there's one graboid left that apparently is friends with Michael Gross's character, named El Blanco, because it's an albino. And they have to protect it. So it's this like a national park almost. It's like this preserve for this thing. So Michael Chiklis plays the Environmental Protection Agency officer who is in charge of this area.
Oh, he went from the Shield. He got fired from that. Now he works for
it was weird.
I need some work.
Michael Chiklis is in it a bunch. Michael Rooker is in it once.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
There's a Turturro, not a famous Turturro. Yeah.
NYPD Blue Turturro, not
he's
John
in it
Turturro.
a couple of times.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange. Oh, and Christopher Lloyd is in it a number of times.
Wow, they actually had so at least B-list money.
Yeah, and it's it was a Sci-Fi Channel production, so it was.
Well, that can go so bad.
It can.
That could be polar conda or what the snakeopotamus or what is
it's true.
Some weird mashup.
Save that for after we make the corn.
I want to see Polar Conda now.
Yeah.
I swear that there's something about it with the Dean Cain. I think was in something called like Polar Anaconda or something. Made no sense,
surprised.
and it was on Sci-Fi Channel and was just it was one of those flipping through the channels back when I had cable.
And you didn't.
And it looked horrible. CGI was horrible. The acting was horrible.
Robert,
okay, so
was the series also was that Sci-Fi Channel?
Yes.
Okay.
Series was Sci-Fi. I think.
Yep.
The third movie was Sci-Fi.
100%. Yep.
You did it. You went through.
Good man.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Now, last but not least, Eric's coming in.
Maybe the
Wishmaster.
least. We'll see.
Not
okay,
Witchboard. Wishmaster.
This was a mistake I made. I thought I was actually. I watched the first Witchboard movie, forgetting that I actually had Wishmaster. They're actually kind of
close
cousins
enough.
in a way. I
Close
mean,
enough.
relative to the quality and the production, they're similar animals. So raise your hand. How many of you guys have seen more than one Wishmaster?
Only one hand.
Only the first.
Oh, okay.
Only the first one. Yeah.
No, sir.
Only
That's
Robert,
your
like
job.
we said.
That is your job.
This is a series where I think that the first movie is not the best of them.
What?
But I also think that the first movie's not very good. So, this is a movie directed by, the first movie was directed by Robert Kurtzman, produced by Wes Craven in 1997. And this is at a time when I think nobody's saying it outright, but everybody recognizes that Robert Englund's getting old. We need a new franchise to kick off with a brandable villain who can quip and is sort of this unstoppable magical being. And so with that, we got introduced to the Jinn. And so there's commonalities through all four of these films, and they're all quite different in both tonally and they're not connected, which is interesting. None of the four of them, but they all have these commonalities. It's based on the myth of a Jinn trapped in a fire opal, which looks kind of like a big glass ruby or those ring lollipop candies that you used to have when you were a kid. Right? It's just like, man, that's a cheap looking fake gemstone. But if you look into it, you can see the genie's in there. And it's like, oh, he's got you now. And
put that
so anyways, so the Jinn is probably a Freddy Krueger analog at this point. The costumes and makeup are not good. The genie is rubbery looking.
When you say Freddy Krueger analog, like jokey, like Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, he's quippy.
Okay.
He sort of pops up. He's sort of like this unstoppable magical thing that just sort of shows up and changes appearance, and sort of he's. They also changed the actor between and it's unfortunate they did, because the one thing that they had going for it was at least the Andrew Divoff, who plays the Jinn in the first two movies, is kind of charismatic. I mean, in the same way, that because he always like, be careful what you wish, that kind of thing. And he shows his sharp teeth and the other. So this is because it's a genie. You get 3 wishes, with the third wish freeing the legions of Jinn upon the earth. And it's a monkey's paw, right? Be careful how you state your wishes. It never works out the way that you wish them. That's usually the clever bit. That's the trick behind Wishmaster. Each story links the Jinn to a final girl heroine, the Waker, who needs to make the 3 wishes. It just happens to be that they're always women. I think that they were buying into the Nightmare on Elm Street trope, the final girl kind of a thing. So not monkeying with that formula too much. No continuity for any of these movies. Each movie is self-contained. Each movie has a different Jinn origin and a different fire opal discovery.
Really?
This is done by Artisan Entertainment. They were inexpensive, but somewhat profitable. They were made for about $1 million each.
So it's almost not even a series.
So
I'm
surprised. I really thought Wishmaster was like 80s. That's how crappy it looks.
No,
I did not know it was late 90s.
No,
Okay.
late 90s. Yeah. So the first movie, actually, I take that back. The first Wishmaster, they spent $15.7 million. They made $15.7 million on a $5 million budget.
All right.
So profitable enough that they made more,
Mhm.
right? So the first one stars Tammy Loren, who is Alex, who is she's a professor who, she's actually, no, I take that back. She is an auctioneer who evaluates valuable things, and she gets the gem comes across because the first gem was acquired from a dock worker, brings it in because it was a horrible accident that crushed Ted Raimi, dropped by Joseph Pilato. This is the first one. The best thing about the first Wishmaster, it is loaded with horror icons, like the C-list, like not your A-list ones, but you get Robert Englund, A-list, right? You get Rico Ross, who was in Aliens. He's Frost from Aliens.
Yep.
Joseph Pilato, from Day of the Dead. Reggie Bannister from Phantasm. Tony Todd, Angus Scrimm, Kane Hodder, and Tom Savini. Nice. They all show up in this.
Okay.
Doesn't make the movie good, but it makes it fun. But anyways, Joseph Pilato was a ship worker who's drunk on the job, drops a crate of a statue that lands on top of Ted Raimi, killing him, and the gem pops loose. A dock worker who is another sort of a minor horror player who's been in a number of things, takes it, and they try and evaluate it, the gem, and they scan it. It explodes. It turns into the genie pops out, kills our heroine's boyfriend or the guy she's got a crush on, and it takes over his body, and then it just kind of goes on a killing spree, looking for the woman who essentially, when she was the first one to look into the gem, and it goes, "I see you," that kind of thing, and then gets the genie gets released, and goes on a killing rampage until it to try and get her to make 3 wishes. The acting is our heroine was to the fact where I just like I couldn't even remember what she did or that kind of thing. Divoff was fun, but he's very cliched. He's got so much makeup on that he can't really move very much. It's just very rubbery looking. The special effects, the gore effects were done by K&B, so big time gory special effects crew. There was a wild scene at the very end in an art gallery where that Robert Englund's hosting a thing about this new statues and all the stuff that he brought in, and the wishes kind of go awry, and it does a flashback to, or there's the very beginning of the movie, there's a Persian court scene where the genie goes crazy and kills everybody, and until it's stopped and trapped in the gem. And so we get kind of a flashback at the end where there's a big party and people are doing horrible things to each other because it was like, I forget what the wish was, but it was something that triggered really bad behavior. And she manages to trick him by saying, I wish that the guy wasn't drunk. And then, solves it. Done it. All right. Wrap the film. The second one, Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies, is my favorite of the series. The first one I give 2.5 stars.
Okay.
Or 2 to 2.5. I make it 2.5 because it's fun to see the cameos. Sure. The third one was on a budget of $2.5 million, went straight to video. And this starts with an art heist gone wrong, where the gem is buried tucked behind a canvas, and the burglars get out, but there's a shootout, and the cops kill off most of the burglars, and in the process, there was a statement of the one guy remaining. His girlfriend gets away, and after looking into the gem and seeing, I see you, gonna get you, that kind of thing, and she runs away, leaving the gem with her dying boyfriend, who gets shot by the cops. And then he goes, and as he's dying out, the genie comes out and says, I can make your pain go away, and he goes, make it stop, and so he kills him and takes over his body. And we've got Michael Divoff going around like a grinning maniac, because most of the movie he's going around without, he's actually about as stiff as he is when he's in costume, when he's out of costume, but he's just grinning madly and trying to make people make wishes just for the fun of it. Right. And so a lot of people die because they go, I wish I was famous, or I wish I was beautiful, and all these monkey's paw things, and they just go wrong. And that's the shtick. But this was a lot of fun because Andrew Divoff, he willfully goes to prison, because where do you find a lot of people who want to make wishes and are desperate? Prison. And he just preys upon this. And in this case, he needs to get 900 souls. And so he's trying to get all these people to commit these wishes. And it's like, I wish I could kick this guy's ass. It's like, wish granted. And then these guys, they beat up on each other, and he gets their souls. Right. And then eventually there's a prison breakout, and he gets out, and then he goes to with a mobster, and they go to a casino. And where else do you find a lot of people who have a lot of wishes? At the casino. And so he's just racking up the souls.
It's like turning into like Ernest movies, like
right.
Jin goes to prison, Jin goes to the casino.
and there's, in this case, the final girl is a scrappy, gothy cat burglar, and she's a lot of fun. She also has and this actress is, so Holly is played by it's Holly Fields playing Morgana, who is our final girl, and she has an ex-boyfriend who's now a priest, who looks kind of like Kevin Sorbo, like a romance novel cover model. And he is wooden. He is wooden as this table in front of me. But he's just there for a love interest romance beefcake. And and an occasional advisor about how to beat a genie, because it's like, we're going to beat him with the power of Christ. And it doesn't work really that way. And and the genie goes, ha, 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 you cannot beat me like this. What is your wish? Make your wish. And it is more fun, because I think that the villain here is that Vivov is having a blast doing what he's doing. And we have a lot of the other stuff. It's not particularly, they got rid of the K&B, so it's not particularly bloody. I thought it was going to be better. But if you're going to watch the Wishmasters, you don't have to watch them all. I might start with Wishmaster 2.
Do you think, did any of the other ones have like the horror movie credential cast that the first one did? Like, where they're maybe trying to make these as something to get the gang together?
No, because Wes Craven is out.
Okay,
right.
At this
so
point,
it's just the first one. All right.
Yeah. So
when are we getting Wishmaster 5? When's that?
Hopefully never.
Is that in the works?
I don't think so.
Not in the works.
Not in the works. Well, let me take a look. Let's see.
Hopefully not.
Probably not. Okay, so Wishmaster 3 is the worst of the lot. Directed by a guy named Chris Angel. These both were filmed.
The magician?
You just walked right over that.
Yeah.
But this guy, I thought it might have been Las Vegas Chris Angel, magician extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Ta-da! No, which would have been perfect for a Wishmaster movie. Yeah. But this Wishmaster 3, Beyond the Gates of Hell from 2001, was filmed in I think Edmonton, at the same time as Wishmaster 4, The Prophecy Fulfilled. They have two completely different casts. They have two completely different ideas of how they're going about it. Budget of $1.5 million estimated each. They went both straight to video, no box office. And the first one is like, this would have fit in with Mike's teen drama stuff, where there's a final girl, Diana, who's a studious and suicidal college student, and she's studying with her lovelorn archaeology professor Barash, who's kind of got this inappropriate lust for his student, and she discovers the
student, by the way, played by AJ Cook.
AJ Cook, I just saw that. Oh goodness, they're all connected.
Yep, they're all connected.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, so they're in their study materials, they find there's a fire opal, and then when and she starts reading about it, and it spooks her. She sees again, what is your wish? Oh no, run away. And the professor comes in and is like, oh man, this girl doesn't like me. And then when the genie pops up, played by a different guy this time, played by John Novak, who's a bit chunkier, which is unfortunate because it just means it's like thicker make. He just doesn't look very scary. So the professor says, I want the prettiest women in the world to fall in love with me. And so, of course, you get like 3 succubi who come over there, and it's like groping all over him. And so this movie has, at this point, sort of jettisoned any notion of, we're going to go straight exploitation. So it's like, we're going to have three naked models out there, and they're going to, and then they do horrible things to him and kills off the professor. The genie takes on the professor's likeness, and he manages to pursue the girl across campus, trying to get her to make 3 wishes. They also introduce a weird avenging angel type of scenario, where all of a sudden one of the boyfriends of the girl turns into an avenging angel to fight the genie. It's stupid.
Yeah, not Chris Angel.
Not Chris Angel. No, not Chris Angel.
Still not Chris Angel.
Just to be clear.
We could have benefited from some Chris Angel.
No, it could have. Yeah, the plot is bogged down horribly by a worried boyfriend and idiot party crazed college pals. The plot seems like a really badly written Buffy the Vampire episode. It's very melodramatic. It's very ersatz. I almost turned this one off and gave up.
give
It
up.
was-
It's okay.
It
That's
was.
not part of the Wheel of Misfortune.
It was.
No.
There is no giving up.
I did not give up. This movie was boring. It is
On
poorly written
Wikipedia,
and poorly
It
acted.
just says this film has 4 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, all negative. That's it. Nothing else about like any critic quotes or anything. All
I give
negative.
this movie a 1.5 stars.
Ooh, shit.
No recommended scenes. Not worth watching.
All right, and Wishmaster 4.
Wishmaster 4 is an upgrade.
Okay.
Wishmaster 4 is an
Sounds like it
upgrade.
couldn't
Also
not be.
directed by Chris Angel.
Okay.
This one has Tara Spencer Nairn, who is playing Lisa, who's our final girl again. And she is married to a guy named Jason Thompson, Sam, a very strapping, handsome man. And then they also go the route of let's show skin, and they have a lot of sex at the beginning of the movie. But what ends up happening is that the fiance gets horribly injured in a motorcycle accident, which is left him paraplegic, and so she is going to a lawyer named Stephen, who has a crush on her. He's another handsome man, Michael Turco.
He's from Battlestar Galactica.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So Lisa and Sam, they purchased a house, but after the tragedy, they use this handsome lawyer to help them with their legal claims. Sam is hot for Lisa, and he gives her a puzzle box, like a junior varsity Hellraiser lament box, right? And that this time, that's where the fire opal is contained. She freaks out and leaves because I love Sam, right? But when she opens the box, of course, she sees the fire opal. What do you wish? She runs away, freaks out. And then the genie pops open and kills Stephen, the lawyer, and takes over his body. So what you now have is a love triangle with they eventually start, like she does make a wish. She wishes for her fiance to be better. And it works.
Sounds like a
And-
nice wish, at least.
But there's all this kind of but there's like jealousy, horrible jealousy. And this is very much a love triangle movie. It reminds me of Witchboard, which I watched by mistake.
Sounds like you should have
also
stuck with Witchboard.
a love triangle movie. I think that this time Michael Trucco as the Djinn. They switch to the chunky guy, the John Novak again when he wants to go full Djinn mode. Is more effective as a menace. I think and you know, I'll admit, I thought actually this kind of triangle romance kind of worked it felt like a Hallmark movie that went horror. And it plays the wishes smarter than the third movie. Lots of melodramatic nonsense, lots of sort of people who get sort of incidentally in the way, and they're the ones who tend to get dispatched. And then the angel, so the avenging angel comes back, and in some of the worst sword fighting you will ever see, it was like bad Ren Fair, swinging plastic swords at each other. It's like, okay, I'm going to put my sword up to block, and then you hit it. Okay, now you do it. It was just like, it's so bad. By that point, that they really should have avoided that. They actually had a halfway watchable thing going on with the romance and how they were going to play out the wishes, because at a certain point, this time the legions of, I think this one seemed to have an apocalyptic ending that the other one sort of avoided, which I appreciated.
So
This
other
movie-
than, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say this movie kind of passes barely. I give it 2.5 stars.
Okay.
So it's like, I give this one a C. I give 3 an F. I give 2 a B-, and I give.
Wait a minute,
1
did we just switch from stars to letters? Because
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I think we did, yeah.
As a fan of the show, I'm gonna say respectfully, that's not how we do things here.
Okay, my wish
Yeah.
is that I reset the clock. 2 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, 1.5 stars, 2.5 stars.
So there's a
There
I'm
we
just
go.
reason.
protecting the brand for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm
There's
just
a
kidding. I'm
reason
totally
we
messing
left
with you.
Wishmaster off our Canadian horror list.
Yeah, so you don't need. Long and the short of it is,
Canada and with Canadian cast and crew. So
Yeah.
we're gonna say definitely skip it on Wishmaster.
yeah,
All right.
only if you're bored.
Wow. Yeah,
So I'm gonna
fair.
summarize franchises and wrap us up here. So Wishmaster is a
Well, wait,
thumbs down.
let's vote. Which is the best franchise
Of the ones we did
Scream.
today,
of these?
Scream.
Of the
Scream.
is that Liz? You
Yeah,
said Scream.
I think Scream. Yeah.
Marissa,
Scream.
you-
Yeah.
Scream.
Scream.
Jackie,
Child's
Chucky.
play.
Yeah.
Robert, you're Scream. Eric, you're Scream. I'm probably Scream.
He
Maybe
wants to
Chucky.
say Twilight, but
I could
he
go
just
Chucky.
can't.
So then we're
all right. So Scream
we're
it
all
is.
for. Yes.
What is the
Scream.
worst? What is the worst?
Oh, Wishmaster.
Wishmaster.
Yeah,
Wishmaster.
Wishmaster.
Okay,
Yeah.
not
Because
Tremors.
Wishmaster doesn't
Not
even
Ass
sound like
Blasters.
it's actually a series. It just
Teen
uses the
Graboids.
same name.
Yeah, that's what it
Okay.
sounds like.
No,
Okay.
it edged it out with the pee kink. That's
Yeah.
for me
Yeah.
personally. That's just me.
Scream Wishmaster.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there we go.
I think
That
Everything
is-
else
that
in
is the
between.
definitive
It's a
vote.
couple to
I was
one.
disappointed. I thought Wishmaster was gonna. I thought with all those great cameos, it was gonna be a blast. And
And the
Oh,
Wes
man.
Craven presents.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's a reason why it never
When
became
someone
Nightmare on Elm
presents
Street.
something, it's because they need the paycheck of the here. Can you
Yeah.
put your name on
Yeah.
this? It's literally can we just put your name on this? So it's
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
paychecks. But that was fun. Thank you, Jersey Ghouls, for joining us and tell us
Oh,
or
yay,
tell
thanks.
our listeners where they can find you if they want.
Jackie, go
more.
ahead.
Oh, okay. So you can find us just searching on your favorite podcasting app. You're gonna search there just for Jersey Ghouls.
Oh, holy
You
shit!
are going to go on social media. Same thing. Look for Jersey Ghouls. We put out new episodes every other Sunday, and like as it was mentioned earlier, we're doing a special treat for the month of October. Every single Sunday, we have done a deep dive into the Exorcist franchise, so covering
Mhm.
everything from the
Nice.
novel to the sequels and the movie and the prequels, and we are going to be closing out the month reviewing Exorcist Believer. So
Yep.
we will
I
see.
can't
We
wait.
will see what we
Yeah,
have to
great.
say about that one. But
Thanks,
yeah,
yeah.
like I said, search
Did
Jersey
you guys-
Ghouls and you will find
Did you
us.
guys look at the two
Oh, you
the
gotta
two
listen,
William
Mike.
Friedkin
We will have our-
documentaries?
Oh no.
Because there's two
Ooh.
documentaries.
Oh,
There's
no,
William
we-
Friedkin on The Exorcist, and then there's William Friedkin does Father Norte, I think.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Which is he
Amok,
goes and
Father
looks at
Amarth or whatever.
an actual exorcism.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now I have to check that out.
yeah, dude.
I'm just
it's
excited
good.
for the Justin Bieber one that came out this month. I'm like really looking forward to it. I am a believer. So
All right, y'all. Thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you soon.
The Masters of Horror.